you, but I feel like dancing.
Hi, I'm Brandon, and welcome back to the 80's Emporium, your home for everything 80's. From Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, to Gene Kelly, to Channing Tatum, to those dancing penguins, dance has always been a popular part of the movies. In the 80's, dance movies were as popular as ever, and we'd argue there's never been a better time for the genre. Now, lots of movies involve dancing, but not all of them are about dancing. So for our purposes, we're going to define a dance movie as a film that not only includes dancing, but focuses on dance as a major plot point of the film. While 1982's Annie and 1980's Xanadu both involve dance numbers, we don't consider them dance movies, because the dancing itself is not a major plot point in the film. However, films such as Flashdance, Footloose, and Dirty Dancing will all be considered dance movies. Got it?
5, 6, 7.
People who dance each have their own reasons for doing so. For many, dance can be a form of escape. Here are a couple of films in which our protagonists use dance as a way to forget about their worries and daily struggles. Breakdancing began in the 1970s, but it wasn't until the 80s that the dance style was incorporated into film. And 1984's Beat Street was one of the first films to do just that. The hip-hop-centric story follows three young artists as they pursue careers as a DJ, a graffiti artist, and a breakdancer. A number of notable breakdancers and hip-hop groups make cameos throughout the film. The musical drama White Nights is set in the Soviet Union and focuses on two dancers, a ballet dancer and a tap dancer, who must work together despite their opposing views on the Soviet government. The film was directed by Taylor Hackford and starred acclaimed dancers Mikhail Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines in the lead roles. Helen Mirren, who is half Russian, co-starred as well. It was on the film that longtime couple Hackford and Mirren actually met. The two have been married since 1997. White Nights gave us the song Separate Lives by Phil Collins and Marilyn Martin, as well as Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie. Both were nominated for Academy Awards, with Richie taking home the win. Screenwriter Mark Rosenthal has penned a number of classic films, such as The Jewel of the Nile, Beverly Hillbillies, and Superman 4. But Rosenthal only has one directorial credit, and that's on the little-known dance film, The In Crowd. Similar to Hairspray, the story takes place in the 60s and focuses on a dance show, which is hosted by Joe Pantoliano. The movie starred Donovan Leitch, brother of Ione Skye. 4 years after appearing in White Nights, Gregory Hines starred in Tap, another film in which he could show off his tap dancing skills. Hines plays a former prison inmate who attempts to return to dancing while putting off the temptation of returning to his life of crime. The movie also featured Sammy Davis Jr. in his final film appearance. It's not easy to make it as a dancer, but you have to follow your calling in life.
Have you thought about a second career?
Never. I'll die on my toes.
Our next crop of films feature young people attempting to make dancing into a full-time career. The brainchild of talent manager David Da Silva, Fame follows 8 high schoolers over the course of 4 years as they navigate their performing arts program, which includes classes in drama, music, and dance. Fame earned 6 Oscar nominations, winning for Best Original Score and Best Original Song for Fame by Irene Cara, who also starred in the film. The movie launched a spin-off series, a stage version, a second spin-off series, a 2009 remake, and even 2 reality shows. Actress Debbie Allen appears in the 1980 movie, the 1982 TV show, and the 2009 remake. She has said that she believes in each of them, she is playing the same character. Flashdance starred Jennifer Beals in only her second role, and it was director Adrian Lyne's second feature film. The story follows Beals, an 18-year-old who works at a steel mill, but longs to become a ballerina. Most of Bill's dancing was done by a team of body doubles, depending on the skill that was required. Flashdance earned 2 nominations at the 55th Academy Awards. Michael Sembello's Maniac and Irene Cara's Flashdance What a Feeling were up for the award, with the latter taking home the prize. In between Rocky III and Rocky IV, Sylvester Stallone directed a dance movie called Staying Alive. A sequel to 1977's Saturday Night Fever, the movie follows John Travolta's character, who is struggling to keep up with a world that has moved on from the days of disco. Like Saturday Night Fever, the soundtrack featured a number of songs by the Bee Gees, but the band left during the project due to creative differences. As a result, only the first half of the soundtrack was written and performed by the Bee Gees, with the rest being credited to Frank Stallone, a singer who also happens to be the director's brother. Frank's song Far From Over was the film's biggest hit single, hitting number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. The movie received mostly poor reviews, but still was a box office hit, and was the 7th most successful film of 1983. Gregory Hines makes his 3rd appearance on our list in the 1984 musical crime drama, The Cotton Club. Directed by acclaimed director Francis Ford Coppola, the film follows entertainers at a Harlem nightclub in the 1930s as they deal with the looming threat of the mob. Gregory Hines is a black dancer who performs in a mostly white nightclub. The film was unsuccessful financially, but received above-average reviews. In 2019, an extended version was released, featuring additional scenes of Hines' dancing. The Cotton Club Encore has been praised by many as a significant improvement on the original. The 1976 Tony Awards were dominated by a new musical called A Chorus Line, which won 9 of its 10 nominations. 9 years later, it would receive the Hollywood treatment. The movie musical, directed by Richard Attenborough and starring Michael Douglas, follows a group of dancers who are auditioning for a job on Broadway. Despite the massive success of the source material and 3 Technical Academy Award nominations, the movie version was a box office bomb. 2 years after White Nights, Mikhail Baryshnikov returned for another 80s dance movie, this time teaming up with Footloose director Herbert Ross. The two had worked together 10 years previously on 1977's The Turning Point. In Dancers, Mikhail is a successful Russian ballet dancer who has lost the passion for his craft. He takes on a young female protege and the two fall in love. Unlike White Nights and Footloose, the film was poorly received, with Roger Ebert calling it one of the worst movies of the year. Body Beat, also known as Dance Academy, features a rivalry between 2 Dance Academy instructors, one who wants to stick to the old ways of ballet, and another who hopes to add jazz and rock and roll to the mix. The film was an Italian co-production and filmed in both LA and Rome. Body Beat was followed up the next year by a much lesser known film called City Rhythms, also called War Dancing, also called Dance to Win, and also called Dance Academy 2. It was once again co-written and directed by Ted Mather, but starred a new cast. If you're enjoying this video, the best way to support us is by purchasing some of our exclusive merchandise in our online shop. Winning is always nice, but when you're a young person looking for recognition, entering a contest is serious business, especially when it's a dance contest.
Now, I didn't challenge nobody. Oh, yes, you did.
This next group of films focuses on the competitive aspect of dancing. Inspired by a 1983 documentary on hip-hop culture, Canon Films released the breakdancing film Breakin, which was a box office success. Included in the cast were rapper and actor Ice-T in his debut role. Since then, Ice-T has gone to a highly successful musical and film career. Most notably, he has played the role of Finn on Law & Order SVU since 2000. But breakdancing wasn't the only form of dance to gain popularity in the 80s. Dancercise, a portmanteau of dance and exercise, also experienced an increase in popularity. The 1984 film Heavenly Bodies pits 2 dancercise studios against each other, concluding with a contest to decide which instructor will get a lucrative job on a fitness TV show.
Look, whatever happens, good luck.
The film was the first and only movie directed by Lawrence Dane, who was best known as an actor. If you look closely, you can see a poster of Flashdance in the film, which came out only a few months earlier. Girls Just Want to Have Fun starred Sarah Jessica Parker in only her 4th film role, alongside Helen Hunt and Shannon Doherty. The girls compete to be on a dance TV show, much to the chagrin of Parker's father. While the film was inspired by the 1979 Cyndi Lauper hit, Lauper refused to let her version be used, so the film was forced to use a cover. Still, Cyndi does appear in an uncredited cameo in the film, as is Robert Downey Jr. The teenagers in 1985's Fast Forward venture from their small town in Ohio to compete in a dance competition in New York City. The film was directed by award-winning actor Sidney Poitier, who cast the 8 dancers from a pool of 3,000 applicants. In 1988's Salsa, this time the contest centers around, you guessed it, salsa dancing. The film stars 18-year-old Robbie Draco Rosa, who at the time was a member of the iconic Puerto Rican pop band Menudo.
Boss, it's the event of the year and I'm gonna be crowned, you know, king of salsa.
King of bullshit.
The film did not achieve notable success in the US, but it was a big hit in Puerto Rico. Salsa was another Canon production and featured 3 songs from Maniac composer Michael Sembello. Remember to please take a moment and give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And now for our final category. Dance is a constantly evolving art form, and as such, every generation tends to have a form of dancing that is special and unique to them. You probably dance differently than your parents, and they probably dance differently than theirs. The characters in these movies use dancing as a form of rebellion against authority.
I told you a million times, dance is my life.
I don't understand.
Only 7 months after Breakin, a sequel was released. That's right, in the same year. The same cast returned this time to unite against a mall developer who wants to knock down a rec center.
Hey man, we're gonna stop you. Commission or no commission?
While this film had 3 times the budget, it made less than half of what Breakin made. Still, the 2 films are often credited with introducing moviegoers to hip-hop culture. One of the most beloved and iconic movies on our list is 1984's Footloose. Based on a true story of a town who banned dancing and the teenagers who overturned the ruling, the movie was a huge success. and like Fame and Flashdance before it, earned 2 nominations at the 57th Academy Awards for the songs Let's Hear It for the Boy by Denise Williams and Footloose by Kenny Loggins. You're likely familiar with Hairspray, either the 2007 film with Zac Efron, the NBC live version with Ariana Grande, or perhaps the 8-time Tony Award-winning Broadway musical with Harvey Fierstein. But the original Hairspray, released in 1988, was only met with moderate success. Set in the 1960s, the film centers around a teen who attempts to use her newfound platform as a TV dancer to encourage desegregation.
It's the times. They're a-changing.
It is director John Waters' only PG film and widely considered to be one of his best. We know this is an all-time favorite here at the 80's Emporium, so we're going to spend some extra time with it. It's time for Dirty Dancing. Writer Eleanor Bergstein loosely based the movie on her childhood, where she would spend summers participating in Dirty Dancing contests. Jennifer Grey beat out Winona Ryder, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Sharon Stone for the role of Baby, while the role of Johnny was considered for Val Kilmer, Billy Zane, and Benicio del Toro before Patrick Swayze was cast. Much has been said about Swayze and Grey's dislike for one another on set, but the two had unmistakable chemistry, at least on screen. Some of their scenes contain improvised moments, such as this one. The Virginia and North Carolina-based shoot took only 43 days, but weather caused a lot of issues. In September, the cast and crew had to deal with brutal temperatures that reached into triple digits. Then in October, the temperature dropped, causing the lake water to become extremely frigid.
Good. No.
The soundtrack Dirty Dancing remains one of the best-selling ever. It spent 18 weeks atop the Billboard charts and sold 32 million copies worldwide. Along with some classic songs, the album included Eric Carmen's Hungry Eyes, Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind, and I've Had a Time of My Life by Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes, which won a Grammy, a Golden Globe, and an Academy Award. The 80s gave us some of the most iconic and memorable dance movies of all time. The genre grossed over $400 million and helped launch the careers of many beloved actors like Kevin Bacon, Ice-T, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Jennifer Beals. The songs from these films had a major impact on the music industry, topping the charts, winning several prestigious awards, and selling millions of albums. Hairspray, Fame, and Footloose have all been reimagined, while a sequel to Dirty Dancing involving Jennifer Grey is in development. While the studio-produced dance movie is a rarity nowadays, many independent filmmakers have taken it upon themselves to keep the genre alive. The world may never see another decade for the genre like the 1980s. Now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite dance movie from the 1980s? How many have you seen from this list? Did we miss any? Let us know in the comments.
Hey, don't be a stranger.
Remember to give us a like, a share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Myself into this. Hey, Woody, come here. Listen, has anybody ever died doing this?
Just once.